Hi everyone. It is Wednesday, August 13th. And for those of you who have seen my most recent videos, you will know that today was the day of my father's appeal, where he was trying to get his sentence reduced and he was trying to get himself to not be on the sex offender registry, etc. So my sister, mother, and I all attended a hearing this morning where he was trying to get his sentence reduced from 20 years, which he was sentenced to last year in early 2024, down to 6 years. And if you see from my smile, nope. Denied. So the first nice thing was that even though it technically I don't think was necessary or maybe required, the court allowed us to all give our impact statements again, which was incredibly now, I'm looking for the word I want to use. It was a really good thing, but it was like more than a good thing. It's like to be able to say what happened in a court of law is valuable, and it makes victims, at least it made me feel like I was being heard. And I was being officially heard, and it was going on the record. And so for me, it felt really good. I'm trying to come up with a better, like a more accurate description that I can say how it felt. But that's good enough for now. So we did that, and then the judge sat for a while considering things and came back and said again, just like she did the first time, that the things that were detriments that he did, like the bad things he did, like taking advantage of his position of power because he was our father, outweighed his mitigating things. And he came up with all kinds of mitigating factors. He said, oh, because he was in the military. He was in the military for the minimum amount of time, basically because he didn't have anything else to do when he graduated high school. But he also said because he was in the church and a deacon for 25 years, but he didn't mention that that church kicked him out and that he was no longer a deacon. So he forgot to mention that because he had gotten himself, his wife was a Sunday school teacher, and evidently he was having interactions with children. Now, I don't know if they were, I can't say anything about it, but I know that the church got uncomfortable. So that was interesting. Luckily, we didn't have that. The DA didn't have that information, but we didn't need it because she didn't take that into consideration really either. He also said for her to consider that he's been a good prisoner for the last year and he's gotten a job as janitor. And so that shows that he's responsible. And so he wanted his time reduced for that. But we made a really good case about the factors, about how heinous his crimes were. And there were additional factors that came into play that she took into account. And this was the same judge that sentenced him the first time. And so she basically just came to the same conclusion as last time. There was really not much else. The big thing he was trying to do is he was trying to say that he was convicted in 1995 as well. And so this would be his second conviction, which is another aggravating factor. And he was trying to say that because he committed our crimes before 1995, it wasn't a second conviction. but that was clearly stated in the law that it goes by date of conviction, not date of crime. So hopefully, he said immediately when he heard he got 20 years again that he wanted to appeal again, and put in at that time his intent to appeal. However, he barely, from what I understand, he barely got his appeal approved this time. So there may not be any more appeals because he may not have grounds to appeal anymore. Basically, he got his appeal approved because there was no copy of the 1995 conviction in the file. So today, the DA provided a certified copy of that conviction, and it was added to the file. So there should be no more reasons that he can come up with. But we'll see, because he asked for a particular lawyer as well in the court. So he's not backing down. And I'm not backing down either, because I'm going to make sure, me and my sister are going to make sure that there's no way that that man hurts another child again. So that is the update about the hearing today. Now, I also want to give a health update. I don't know if I should do it. I guess I'll do it on this video. So I do not know if the daratumumab worked because sometimes, I don't know if this has happened to other people, but sometimes when you go and get the blood taken, they don't get all the right tubes. Well, that happened this time for me. They didn't get all the right tubes drawn, so some of my tests were not able to result. So some of the tests did result, like I told you guys about my NK cells dropping down. I had my doctor oncologist review the findings that did come in, and he said to come in that it's okay for me to get a second dose of Dara. My NK cells are okay so far. They're low. They're 13 now, so they're pretty low, but I'm okay for another dose, and then tomorrow we'll also pull all the blood again and we'll see how it worked. So that's the update. I'm going to get a second dose of daratumumab, even though my NK cells dropped, because he said there's still enough there that he wants to give me another dose, and then we'll test again to make sure that I'm okay. And also, before I get my second dose tomorrow, he'll test to see how much the first dose did, so that we can sort of get a measure. Now, it's sort of going to be weird because I had one dose, and then after that dose, it's been 2 weeks, so the cancer cells could have built back up. But let's hope that isn't the case. So tomorrow morning, at around 8:45, we're going to be driving to the hospital. I'll get my blood work, and they'll wait to make sure that things look okay. Like the basics, they have to make sure look okay, like your whites and stuff like that. And if everything looks good, I'll be given a second dose of the chemo for this round, and then come home and rest. So that's all for the update, I guess. I wish I had more to tell you, but I will know more after tomorrow when they take all that blood. Last time, my cancer counts came back on Friday, the next day. So we'll see. Maybe I'll have an update in 2 days for you guys. Anyway, I love you all and appreciate you all so much. I have gotten so much help from the internet, from people. And I mean, if you look, I don't have a big channel. My channel has like 100 people. But literally, people have been sending me things, praying for me, and just lifting my spirits. And I just can't thank you all enough. And what I would say to anyone who's going through a health challenge, if you can open your heart and have yourself a little channel where you can get support, I highly recommend it, because there are still areas of the internet where kind people gather and help each other. I love you all so much.